Hello, welcome back to Weber Family Reviews. Board games, apparently lots of Legos too lately. So, favorite game Friday on the Dice Tower, which if you aren't watching the Dice Tower, I recommend you do it. Favorite game Friday on the Dice Tower said, favorite card game, cards only. That drove us nuts. Most of the card games we play have at least some tokens or something. So we did digging through, we decided to do, favorite card-based games. There's other stuff in them, but card-based games. I will say I'm skipping Magic because while that's one of my favorite card games, I don't play it often because I'm way too lazy to build decks right now.
And the first thing I thought of when I thought of card-based were things like Pinochle and Euchre and Canasta, but we didn't put any of those on, but certainly those are awesome card-only games as well. There's a whole list of those.
Simple deck of cards. Played a lot, Euchre and Pinochle. So what did you want to start?
Sure. So this is Continental Express, and this is, if Ticket to Ride was a card game, this would be it. The Ticket to Ride card game actually sucks. This though is it's literally just a tableau of cards. You're building your train in front of you in cards. Really great little thing. It comes in a little tin. We've moved it to these photo boxes for storage. But really quick and easy. There's a few little tokens in it that kind of act as wilds, but that's really it. Everything else is cards. And this is what, as I said, Ticket to Ride as a card game should be.
Yep. The City by Tom Lehman. This one, if you played Race for the Galaxy, you know that there's follow along and different actions. I like it a lot. I hate teaching Race for the Galaxy. I hated teaching it so much, I actually got rid of it. We just did Roll for the Galaxy, and it seems like it's more palatable for other people. But this one is a tableau building game that is a bit simpler and streamlined. But man, it goes fast. It's fun. I enjoy it a lot. The City.
And a similar mechanism to the City is San Juan, and we've played San Juan a ton. And the idea, same way as the City, the cards are your currency as well as what you're playing, and so you have to decide when you're building a card, what cards am I going to use to pay for it? So what am I sacrificing to build this? And that can be a really tough decision. Because then you've got to get things producing, so you get more cards, and again you're choosing actions that everyone else gets to follow, but when you choose it, you get something a little bit better. And this works really good 2 players. There's governor action that goes back and forth where you get an extra action. Really easy and quick, and as I said, we've played this so much. We did go out and it was kind of a pain to find. We found the small expansion for this even.
We did, and then they released an all-in-one like within 2 months.
Of course.
All right, deck building. I actually really like deck building, and I could have picked any number of things. I've talked about Legendary before and Legendary Encounters, even the DC deck building. One that's not talked about a lot came out at the same time as Star Realms, and I like Star Realms too, but this one, not as attacky. This is a very unique deck builder, as in you have to know when to shed your cards into your tomb to get the points. So you got to entomb. So there's a whole nother mechanism. And also, the crumbling pyramid's really cool. You build a pyramid of cards. You can only buy the bottom row. You're trying to actually use cards to swap rows and positions to get other cards. I really like it. It's Valley of the Kings. There's 3 and a premium edition with all 3 out now.
Well, and what's nice is because the way that it works, it's a bit of drafting, but it works really well 2-player, much the same way like Seven Wonders Duel works, in that though you can see all the cards in it, as it comes down, only certain ones are available.
Yep.
This is a game we didn't expect to like. Our kids love it. This is Dungeon Mayhem, and it's literally just attack each other with your deck of cards, but they're all pre-built for you. Really quick and easy. It's a take that game, but it's over so fast you don't get mad about it. Well, mostly. And it really helps that the kids attack each other, so we usually win. But really quick and easy. It takes maybe 15 minutes to play with 4 people. We went and bought all the different decks, so we had all of them, but certainly you could buy 1 box, but you have 5 decks, and you have plenty to do right there.
Hokkaido. what's funny is, I don't know if my wife even remembers this one. So that's pretty funny to me. Because this is a good one where you're actually taking cards and you're covering up parts of other cards to make your city. And you're going to end up with two sides across a mountain. And you're just building your city out and resources come out that are worth points at the end of the game based on the different cards you have and how many parts and how many cities on each side of the mountain. It's really fun. And it's just a deck of cards and a couple of tokens. So, Hokkaido.
This is Fleet, which this is a game I really enjoy. And this is a fishing themed game, but really it's, that's not, but you're trying to, go out and do the fishing. And I really like the artwork and the enjoyable of it. And it works pretty decent 2 players. We have a couple of versions of this. We have the roll and write. We have Fleet Wharfside, which works even better 2-player. But I like the original. And just fun little game. And I'm a sucker for a different theme. And I'm a sucker for what I consider pretty artwork, and I like this one. So
Shadow approves. So we've gotten a lot of play out of Fox in the Forest. We've mentioned Pinochle, we've mentioned those other trick-taking games before, and I really enjoy trick-taking. I grew up with it. We played euchre continuously. I also played Magic when it came out. These 2 sets of games, really brought it to the forefront, but trick-taking is what my family does. And this is a 2-player trick-taking game. There's a 2-player duet where it's co-op. I don't even want to try it. I know that sounds bad, maybe a bit snobbish, but this is a 2-player, and I love trick-taking. I love going back and forth. You will notice you don't have the crew out here. We've only played the crew a couple of times. I think that's going to hop up as one of my favorite trick-taking games, but Fox in the Forest works really well. 2-player.
You can tell by the box, we actually haul that traveling all the time because it's so easy and you can play it on the floor in the airport.
Or in the airplane. We've done it there.
Yeah. Now he says this is pushing it. I say this is all cards. So these are little square cards, but it's all, you're building your farm out of little square cards. So they're all cards. Now there are some tokens, but this was my push. I felt like I really enjoy this. I like the different aspects of this. I like, you get the strawberry field and it does this that helps out over there. I really enjoy seeing this expand. And this is instead of tile laying, this is just card laying that then creates your little, field of green or your farm. So I really enjoy this one. He says it's a bit of a push, but I'm sorry.
They're still cards.
These are cards.
You're right.
So, but you can see that there's definitely some other stuff in here, but at the base of it, you're going to end up with a tableau of just cards.
Understood. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm fine. Fine. All right. Look, there's no argument on this one.
It's called a card game.
Dresden Files cooperative card game. I love the IP. I've read all the books. They're not in depth. They're just fun urban fantasy novels. He's a smart aleck. I like the flavor on the cards. But this is a puzzle game. If anyone tells you it's not, you can argue with them pretty easily that it's a puzzle game. You're going to end up with a case. You're each going to pick your characters. You're going to have your decks. And then you're going to pull out the case and put 2 rows of cards. And you're going to try and have more cases solved, the green cards, than there are red cards, villains, still left on the table. You have obstacles and you have advantages that you can pick up. Thing is, you don't really draw cards. You play them, and special abilities or I just said it, or advantages can give you cards back, but you don't draw up to your hand at the end of each round. So you have limited resources, and you have to discard cards to get resources to use your cards. I think it's a really puzzly game. I play the app all the time. The box is shown where, because I've actually played this this copy quite a bit. So there's the Dresden Files cooperative card game.
I like all the deck buildings. I could have chose a bunch of deck buildings, but this is Legendary Encounters X-Files. And really any of them could have done here. This is literally just cards. The only other thing in this entire box is the rules and the play mat. It's got a really nice play mat, but there's nothing else in here. And really that's any of the legendaries. They're just cards, but the play mats are pretty useful for playing it. Makes it easier to do. This is, I think we've maybe won this once. Maybe. I'm not sure if we've ever won this.
Once.
Yeah. We usually lose this miserably. But I enjoy the theme, and if you enjoy the theme of the X-Files, but if you're not an X-Files person, just get the regular, legendary with all the superheroes, and you'll enjoy those if that's it. But there's a bunch of different...
Big Trouble in Little China's down there in the corner.
And there's Firefly, and there's James Bond, so there's a legendary for you that you will like. And really simple. It's a more complex deck builder than some of the other ones. It's kind of that nice medium weight. It's not too crunchy, but it's definitely harder than some of the other ones, and it's more thematic than something like DC, which DC is a nice simple one to start with, but a lot of the complaint is, well then, as you beat the villain, it comes into your deck, and then you're playing the villain as if he's your ally. That does not happen here. As you capture them, they go into a separate victory spoils pile.
And that, for the legendary encounters, that's going to fall over. And for the legendary encounters, they are truly co-op. The other ones are semi-co-op. There is a winner with the most points, or you can all lose. I have never played it for the points.
No, we've never actually counted the points, other than like the first game to go, oh, there's the points, and then didn't bother to count.
Now, I said Magic. Magic should be on this. I got it. But everybody talks about Magic. They've got whole channels dedicated to Magic. Now you go Keyforge by the same guy, Richard Garfield, is a different card game. You don't build your decks. You buy a deck, and that's your deck. That's what you got. That's what you got to deal with. Tournament play, apparently there's a way to handicap. I've checked it out. It's interesting. But really, this has the unique ability that you're not paying the same. Yes, you got to pay to put out certain things or do certain things, and you're trying to get 3 keys unlocked, so to speak, by getting Amber. What you do is you activate one of the 3 factions each round. You either put them out and activate them, and so you can put them out and activate anybody that was already out there to do their thing, but only one of the 3 factions. So if you get a handful of one faction and nothing else on the table, you're fine. You put them all out, you're done. It's definitely a different way to play, and I like it. It's a different, unique system. Is it going to last as long as Magic? I doubt it. But it's fun anyway. So that's the card games that we wanted to talk about. I don't even know if these are our favorite card games, but these are card games that I don't think get talked about enough, or really we just wanted to talk about them. So
well, we tried to stick with games that were primarily cards, and that's hard. Yep. It's as you're looking through, it's amazing how many other stuff are in some of these boxes that you think of as a card game.
Yeah.
But these are the ones that struck us as these are card games. And there's certainly more. Flux jumped to mind, but we don't particularly love Flux, but it's a good, quick, easy game, especially with the group like on a holiday. It's a great choice.
Provided
the card lines and timelines. Code Names, for instance, is actually just a tableau of cards as well. So there's a lot of party games that fall into that card-only genre as well.
Yep. All right.
Thanks for listening today.
I think I cut you off.
Probably.